Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday night. That means Cageside Live is back. Eddie Law, Mr. Val, what's up, dude?
What's up? Nothing much.
Man, as you guys saw there a second ago before the intro started, rest in peace, Anthony Rumble Johnson, man. That's some sad ass news, dude. Like, I saw it like right after broke, or at least after everyone was talking about it, and it reminded me. I talked to him twice, doing media and all that, and like. Never a mean bone in that guy's body. This was nicest guy ever. Mind you, in the middle of cutting weight. Now, Rumble's issues with weight cuts and all that. And he was still the nicest dude. And it was just like, man, that guy's cool. And then, never had a problem with anybody. The John Jones stuff, he gave John Jones all kinds of, props, even after the fight fell out and all that. So, it's a sad year for MMA in total with Elias Theodoro and now Rumble Johnson and all that. So, I guess I'll ask you here in a second what your favorite Rumble memory was. So, give you a second. I'll give you mine. Before the Jones fight fell out, they did the presser at the I forget, it was the Time Is Now or something. Like UFC used to do these, like they would bring up like 4 or 5 like big future fights and all that and do them. They did that one. They faced them off. And Jones and Rumble pretended to like they were gonna get in a fight in front of Dana and scare the shit out of Dana, and it clearly was a prank. And man, I love that about Rumble. Never took it so serious that he wasn't willing to like have fun and play around. But once he got in that cage, man, he was trying to take your head off. So yeah. What's your favorite memory of Rumble?
Well, for that one, that's one of those like famous face-off moments in UFC history because it gets posted on all the like clip channels and stuff. But
yeah,
it's probably the Gustafsson fight because like Gus is just, I didn't think like anything could get to Gus like that at that time. Mm-hmm. And it could also be the second DC fight. That fight was just insane,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for like a good like brawl, like drag him out brawl, like one guy's hurting the other. Like it's like Frankie Edgar, like against Gray Maynard, just like getting hurt, surviving, coming back. Like that's what DC did. But man, of course, Rumble just having the power, just always the power, man.
It was nasty, man. And oh no, I mean we could talk about Rumble forever because he was such a good dude, and he did a lot of crazy stuff and everything. But suffice to say, huge loss in the MMA community, huge loss in the world. It's again a really good guy. What are you gonna say, man? Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Rumble Johnson, man. We're gonna miss you, bro. All right.
When you're more known by your nickname, you know, like more people call you Rumble, Rampage, Korean Zombie. That's when you've made a lot of people like invested in you, not just as a fighter, but like personally.
100%, man. That stuff goes a long way. What's up, Tank? Rumble fight at 170 is crazy, dude. I remember those fights. Like he used to knock dudes dead at 170, and but when he started missing weight, I was like, how much is that guy cutting? It turns out it was cutting a ridiculous amount of weight.
Yeah,
and finally, I got 205 was great.
I saw like the clip of all of his UFC knockouts today, and that one head kick was just like nasty. Dude, I can't remember who it was. Some white dude. But just, I mean, it's a 205 pounder, 170 pounder's body with their full like shin connecting is just insane. How a man like that big, like muscularly and cutting how much weight can get his leg up there with such like agility, hip flexibility is insane.
It's nasty, man. But God damn, dude, that's 2 in 1 year already.
Yeah, it's been one like season basically. The hits keep on coming.
Yeah, no, they keep on coming, man. We got a month left. Every year we seem to be like, man, fuck this year, fuck this year. Like we were talking about like 2020, fuck 2020.
Yeah.
In 2019 when Kobe went, everyone hated 2019. Now in 2020 and 2021, it's I think every year because we're getting older, it's just gonna be like that. So
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. It's sad, but it's life, I guess.
Super sad. What's up, Billy?
Yeah, on to less sad things. Cheer people up, maybe.
Yeah.
UFC 281.
That was nuts. So you watched it. I mean, you got to watch it as it happened. I was at a wedding, so I knew the results. sort of, because I wasn't all sober, but I knew the results, but I still wanted to watch it because it looked insane. So let me pull up the results here for a second. Normally I pull up the Cageside Press one, but this is the fastest one I can get.
Started with Oldberg.
Yeah, Oldberg was nasty. First of all, who did not expect Oldberg to do that? Because I fully expected that. Fully.
I mean, I expected him to like be better early, especially, but like Negumereanu showed a crazy chin and just aggression and durability. Like he kind of fights like a wild man, so I thought like it's either gonna be like a Negumereanu third round or Oldberg first round. And I was leaning Oldberg first round because the wild man stuff can get you like caught like with your feet squared up or off balance, and it's not. But that was still nasty.
Yeah, quick finish too. And he wanted Alonzo Menifield after, and then unfortunately today it was announced Jimmy Crute's going to fight Alonzo in Perth. Okay. So
that's a solid fight, rebound fight for Crute.
Yeah.
And people forget Crute submitted Paul Craig and really out grappled him through that whole fight. Right. He like has some good stuff. Just had a hard pass lately.
Then he lost to Jamal Hill, I think, right?
Yeah, Hill knocked him out, and his leg went dead against Anthony Smith. Like the premise type thing. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And he was still crazy. On one leg trying to wrestle him. He got like 3 takedowns on one leg, man. The dog.
Yeah. Dude, for real, right? Tank says lost money on Mike Chandler, went with irresponsible gambling and doubled down on Pereira. Broke even, thank God. Well, that's the thing about gambling, dude. I'm so bad at it, I don't even try it. All right, then Montel Jackson took the decision over Julio Arce. I was surprised about that one. Didn't make sense to me. Then I watched it and I was like, Julio didn't do enough.
No, he didn't. I mean, I really meant like my prediction was like this fight. I thought this fight was gonna be like great. Like this is my like sleeper fight of the card, and it was kind of cagey. I thought the next fight was gonna be like kind of cagey because Trezano usually is like his Ludovic Klein fight. He's like moving around and stuff, trying to like stay smart. But I didn't realize that this was his last fight on his contract, and he just went for it, like balls to the wall. That was a great performance by Trezano.
Dude, I didn't
guy who's like a knockout artist.
Right. So I didn't even see the result of this one yet. Someone posted the clip of the double knockdown, and I thought without having gone to the Twitter or researching far into it or hitting one of you guys up to ask what happened, I thought it was a double knockout, and I was like, we finally have one in the UFC. Yes, I was so happy, dude. I was like, you should have seen. I was telling people like, dude, there's another double knockout. About damn time that happened in the UFC, and then I saw. I mean, I was happy for Trezano and everything, even though he missed weight, but damn, that double knockdown, it makes for a great gif.
Great. Yeah. The closest is Newton versus Matt Hughes, Carlos Newton, Matt Hughes, but it's like a submission / chokeout / knockout. Dude, but crazy stuff.
He went automatic after they both got hurt. He was just like grabbing and stuff, and that's literally the ref was like, okay, yeah, you win.
Oh yeah, you're still up, even though
you're awake.
Probably went out first.
Yeah, exactly. Then Karina. Okay, so people were telling me about this one. This one was weird. Karina Kovacevic gets a win over Silvana Gomez Juarez. Did they really change the scorecards in the middle of the fight or in the middle?
The fight ended. It was pretty clear Carolina won. The first 2 rounds, but Silvana won the third. Like I thought it was pretty clear. And then it looked like they changed it, but they didn't so they have a guy who like takes all the scorecards from it's 3 different judges on 3 different pieces of paper. You got to take them, put them together on one piece of paper. The guy who does that wrote them down wrong. So they were just like, and then Bruce Buffer came and grabbed it before they could fix it. So they were just like fixing it. I mean, they didn't really change it. It looked like they did. They didn't really change it. They just fixed the mistake. I mean, it's a bad look, but yeah.
All right, well, fair enough. I thought for sure they were changing it. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it looked like they they were, and you could see with the writing they were just changing the 3rd round scoring. Like they just Carolina won the first 2, so it didn't. Even if they did, I mean, it would have been bad, but they didn't really. Didn't affect the fight.
Right person won basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's good for Carolina. I mean, I honestly thought she was done. 5 fights in a row.
Yeah.
Came back on Felice Herrig. I was like still skeptical. She'd already beaten Felice Herrig, and but this is a good performance. I mean, Savannah's not like a leader or anything, but she can crack. So, and so Carolina still has her chin.
And she's an up and comer too, Savannah. So she just took out an up and comer, which is pretty impressive to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. This fight completely surprised the hell out of me. I thought, look, I know Bill Welker of MMA on the Rocks is gonna hate me for this, but I thought he's friends with Favola. I thought for sure, huh?
I mean, it's not like my friend when I went to UFC Long Island. My friend who I stayed with trains with Favola at Longo Weidman.
Gotcha. So I thought for sure he was fucked in this fight. I was just gonna mess him up and move on. Nah, dude. Favola came out like the steamroller and knocked him the fuck out. What did you think of that fight?
So it was crazy. Like, did you see before the fight or like the day before the fight? Matt was messing around saying he's gonna stand and bang with him.
Yeah.
He made a poll: should I stand and bang with him or wrestle him? He was just having fun with it. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he would have wrestled if it went like further, but he really didn't have to. I mean, the thing about Ottman is he's been knocking everyone out, but this was his toughest opponent. Like, he had faced decent opponents, but this was definitely his toughest opponent. Like, Matt's a dog. He went toe to toe with Arman Sarukian on a week's notice. Beat Jalen Turner. You know, he's as tough as it gets. I mean, he got knocked out by McKinney, and so that people were underrating his chin because of that. But he's a tough dude.
He's a very tough dude.
And he's just a super cool dude. I mean, when I met him at Long Island, I was just like, this is the coolest dude.
Yeah. Let's get over the Andre Petrosky fight because I heard it wasn't that great.
No, I mean, Petrosky's cardio was better than expected. That's about it.
Then Aaron Blanchfield. First of all, do you think? Okay, like I don't know if you saw it. There was a video of the guy from Barstool,
Dave Portnoy.
Thank you, Portnoy.
I was posting about this. Him.
So I don't dislike him like totally. I ignore him because he's irritating. Like he's like annoying, not irritating, but he's annoying, right? There's a difference, people. He's annoying because he's kind of a cunt. So yeah, I mean, you know, like
I know what you mean. It's funny.
So he's that much of a dick. Like most people that are like assholes or dicks or whatever. Like I can deal with that. Like, all right, cool, yeah, you just that guy, whatever. And most of the time it's in like good fun spirits and all that. I've seen that guy do fucked up shit, like just awful stuff to people, like terrible pranks and stuff like that, and everything. So when I saw him getting upset because Molly McCann lost because he sponsors her and everything, probably bet a bunch of money on her.
Oh yeah, he did.
And she lost. First of all, I feel like I know good damn well that he doesn't get two shits about MMA as a sport. Yeah, like he was betting on Molly to win money because she was an underdog.
It's like I mean, it's not quite like Drake, but it's these guys that aren't from MMA that come in from outside and are super invested on one person and kind of like just weird about the sport. Like I post, I'm like, yeah, Dave Portnoy just found out what jiu-jitsu is. Like, and then I saw like a tweet of his about Molly, and I looked in the comments. I was interested. These Barstool fans are kind of like obsessive with it, you know. And there's just a bunch of people like screaming about how they lost money and lost like a lot of money. And the biggest underdog on the card. And then I researched. I'm like, yeah, I just realized like how many people who'd never seen Aaron Blanchfield fight just lost a bunch of money on Molly because he told them to. And like people started showing me things like he did a stock trading thing where he lost $900,000 in a week, like trying to do a lot of stock trading live stream.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know, it's like the cult of personality where the losses are like brushed aside and it's all about just the personality is not about, I don't know. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. No, I've been saying this for a while and I think people are just not seeing it, but I've been saying it for years. Just because you have a bunch of money does not make you a smart person.
No.
Just because someone's rich doesn't mean you should take their fucking advice. Yeah. All right. Settle. There's very few people whose advice you should take that are actually smart. You think they prove that shit, but like everyone's like, for example, everyone's like Elon Musk, he's a genius. No, he's not. He's clearly not. He's fucking up left and right now on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's smart in some ways, but not
in
like,
some ways.
He's like, this is a whole side thing, obviously.
Right.
I don't want to get too stuck on it, but he's trying. He think it's this thing where you think you can do more than you can. You think because you're good at one thing, you'll be good at everything else.
Yeah, like I don't mind people trying new stuff. You should definitely try new things and everything. But if people put you on a pedestal and make it and think like you actually, first of all, like he actually gives a shit about freedom of speech, like that's why he bought Twitter. That's not why he bought Twitter. Not. Settle down. That's the last reason why I bought Twitter. He could give a fuck about your freedom of speech, all right? Relax. But anyway, back to Portnoy. Like that kind of sucked to see. But the fight itself, it went down exactly how I thought it would. I thought Aaron would put pressure on, get her to the ground. I thought she was gonna take her neck. Took her arm instead.
Yeah.
And I heard because I was watching so real quick, when I live tweet, which I'm not gonna do this weekend either, I'll get back to next weekend, folks. But when I live tweet, I watch the fights with no sound because I don't want to get influenced by the commentary. Right? Everyone comes about commentary, whatever. When I rewatch it the next day, I always listen with commentary. And I just hear Joe Rogan saying, "Please tap." And dude, I was thinking the exact same. I'm like, Molly, please tap. I don't want to see an arm snap today.
She said like, so, Scousers don't get knocked out. Apparently, she said Scousers don't tap. I'm not tapping and stuff. But it's that'll like an armbar is one thing, but that I mean, I think maybe it was Joe or DC that said it about like a spiral fracture that happens when your arms like that could end a career, man.
Bro, take it from a guy who didn't tap twice on arm bars, okay, in competition, like because I'm an idiot, or I was an idiot. These days, I know what's coming, and if I know I can't get out of it, fuck it.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
in competition twice, dude, I got my arm hyperextended, and when you hyperextend your arm, you hear pops in your elbow area. I've done it on both arms. It's so stupid, dude. Tap, motherfuckers.
Rough. Tap. Yeah, I thought it might take longer. Like, is the thing for Blanchfield, but she's dominant. Her top game, her top pressure, is really good, and she's able to, I mean, Molly's obviously like that's the weird, setup about this fight is like she was streaking, people like her, and then they give her to the like hottest wrestling prospect in the division, Molly's weakness, but it's still impressive. But I mean, I would have said this before this fight. This isn't new for me, but I have to say it. Like, seeing Valentina's weaknesses, people are kind of realizing it again. But her weakness has always kind of been a good wrestler. Like, Nunes isn't a great wrestler, but she's big and strong, and she was able to take her down and hold her down. Tyler Santos, same deal. Not as big, but able to hold her down and take her down. So I think, Blanchfield, Casey O'Neill, those are the women who are going to give her the biggest, trouble. I think, and Blanchfield's 23. Like, I don't see how she's not a champ one day. Even if she can't beat Valentina's, getting up there. So one day, by the time she's probably in her prime, 28, 29, she'll be champ, I think.
I think so too. Or at least she'll have a shot at it,
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I just got news that I don't know if you watch football. You watch football, right?
Yeah.
Zach Ertz is out for the season with knee injury.
Oh yeah, I saw. I have him in my main league, and
I feel terrible. Like, he's a good guy, he's such a good dude.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel bad for him. Look, Cardinals ain't going anywhere. They're trash. So what are you gonna do? But it just sucks to see him go out like that.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's almost done.
Yeah. Back to on to the next one. It's the sad one. One of three kind of rough ones to swallow on this card.
Yeah. Real quick, get some comments on here.
Oh, okay.
I'm poor and I still know the Earth's flat, Eddie. Jesus Christ. God damn it, Tank. SJ was good. Tank says, isn't the line for tapping getting short seconds? I don't roll, obviously. Yeah, it can be. Not even seconds. It's like less than a second. I've seen dudes get in getting heel hooks. So if you get in a heel hook, those tendons go all the way up to your knee. That's when people don't tap the heel hooks, their knee blows up. Yeah. So those tendons, you're twisting them at the ankle area, and then it goes pop, 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 pop. Like, your knee will blow up, right? And so, dude, it takes nothing. It takes nothing. That's why, I have a hard time. Not how I do, but a lot of people have a hard time letting white belts compete. But for the most part, white belts don't really know submissions yet, and you're limited in competition to what you can do. So white belts can't do heel hooks, no leg attacks, knee bars, nothing like that. I think white belt, blue belt can't do it. I think purple belt can't do it either. But when you get to brown and black, it's fair game everything. Because at that point, you should be well-versed in submissions and how and when to tap. So that's the whole idea.
And responsible with it.
I've had black belts catch me in heel hooks or catch me in just ridiculous submissions, and they stop before I even feel the tightness, and they go, hey, if I crank this anymore, it's gonna fucking hurt. Yeah. And I go, thanks for the heads up. Tap, dude. Look, all that. That's why your partner you roll with has to be very, very, you have to be able to trust them. All right. That's why it's hard for me to roll with someone I don't know. It's difficult.
I hear a lot of stories about, some guy comes in from another gym and is too aggressive with it, messes someone's knee up, and messing someone's knee up can mess their life up for a long time. It's rough.
Shit, I'm just telling me, man.
Especially with like healthcare and stuff.
Right. You see the fat guy from 10th Planet ripping legs apart?
Yeah.
Shit, you seen all kinds of that motherfucker.
Yeah, that 16-year-old kid with the long hair. Yeah, people going in on him on Twitter. And I mean, he's a kid, so it's like weird to like personally attack him. I feel like, but also like, kid got to learn, man. Like, why is a 16-year-old that like far along with leg locks? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's okay. I believe you should teach leg locks whenever. But it's just if you see a person like that is not mature enough to know to not fucking do that to people, like that's one of those things where you gotta see. If you're a professor, in my opinion, you gotta put them to the side. Like, hey, you gotta cut that out.
Yeah,
like, you gotta stop. That's like that's almost some who's that giant ass dude? I think he fought in the UFC a couple times, but giant ass dude, he would never let go of like
Paul Harris.
Paul Harris.
Yeah,
Paul Harris, as Mike Goldberg say, Paul Harris. Yeah, fucking Paul Harris. That shit.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. Yeah, teacher's responsibility to teach them to be responsible.
Exactly. So we'll see. We'll see how it's that dude. All right. Like you said, a sad one. Dominick Reyes comes in. First of all, I had to watch the finish about 200 times before I realized that the jab is what dropped him. Not that right. Not that. Oh, first of all, the jab. If the jab, no matter what had landed, either the jab or the right hand, he was gone because that right hand from like. Spann brought the right hand from God on that one. He threw it as hard as he could, missed it, but the jab dropped him so hard, dude. That was sad. So, dude, Spann's stock is skyrocketing, and Dominick Reyes seems to be another victim of the John Jones curse, man.
I mean, he's just not comfortable. Like, he's just throwing naked kicks from like punching range against a guy who's like main path to victory is a round one knockout or a submission. It's like, I mean, people talk about the John Jones curse. It's like, I mean, you could say curse, but like John Jones is not the one that did this to him. It's Jan and Yuri. Like, they're the ones who knocked him out brutally and, gave him. I mean, going into this fight, it's become clear like ring rust and confidence issues and just feeling it issues. It's yeah. I mean, Yuri's probably the one that's most to blame. Like against Yuri before that, Yuri's a master of violence, so it's hard to like stay with him, but Reyes was doing a good job staying with him until the knockout.
Yeah.
So and now it's just such a reversal, and it's like it's just rough. Like Reyes had all the talent in the world, and it's just rough. That's the sport.
Is that 4 in a row for him? Losses?
Yeah, 4 in a row. Technically. Technically.
Let me pull up his
Jones
shirt on.
John
Jesus. Dude, I don't see how they keep him on the roster.
I mean, they could, but like he probably should just. He probably should just call it the quits. I mean, like
he hadn't won a fight since 2019 when he beat Chris Weidman.
Dude, is that really the one that got him the title shot? Man, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But it's like 12 in a row, undefeated, and then 4 in a row losing. It's a brutal sport.
It's not good. Kevin Nicholson, PT. There's a reason Reyes was out 18 months after his last fight. I think he had a more difficult time recovering from that Yuri-induced brain trauma than we think. I fully agree with you. I think these guys that get those kind of injuries don't take long enough to recover.
Yeah, we saw it with Marlon. Definitely, he came back a month after getting wheel kick KO'd by Corey. But it was smart. But then he's also spent a bunch of time trying to find the right gym. He was with Nixick, and then he went to Glover. So I don't know, but he just couldn't feel. He just didn't like have the feel for it. Like he just looked wrong out there.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. He looked wrong. SJ says, "Did you guys hear Spann was saying this was the first time he trained for a fight?" That's hard to believe. That's not true, but like he did. He's trained for fights before. I would say that maybe this is the first time he like game planned, right? So there's a difference. You train a fight, right? You train a fight. You train your style and all that. But this may have been the first time he was like, I'm going to train for this guy.
Yeah, I'm going to like have a committed, like full camp, like nutritionist and stuff. I feel like that is what he meant. Some guys, Reyes was fighting, just messing around with his brothers in his gym for like the Jan fight, for example, and the Dewey fight. So like, yeah, I feel like that's what he meant. Like he had a coach before and stuff, but probably was not taking it as seriously is how I interpreted it.
Well, when did I covered him live when he fought God, I can't remember who, but he comes into the media room at the Apex and he just does not want to talk to us. He gave us one-word answers on everything. Like the dude does not want to deal with the media, but when he gets in there, man, he loves violence. Or he's good at it. So
yeah.
All right, moving on.
Go man. Featured prelim.
Featured prelim.
Great fight. I mean, on paper, great fight, but Riddell. So I saw someone say, I didn't see the actual report, but I saw someone say that Riddell's calling it quits on MMA. Is that true?
So he's taking a break. That's what the way he put it. He was gonna take a break. Basically he was talking about like he doesn't have the fire for it anymore or something like that. Which it makes sense, right? He's had a few losses in a row, and they've all been, every loss he's taken has been pretty damn rough. So let's see if I can find the post. But what did you think of his performance overall? Because I thought he looked all right.
He looked okay in the stand up, but the grappling, no.
And you mentioned it too in the last show. You were talking about, keep in mind, Moicano's ground game is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, like that's what people knew him as. Then he showed up and started striking with these guys.
Yeah,
and it was surprised everyone. But yeah, he's just a good mixture of it. But yeah, it was competitive in the striking, and then when Moicano got it to the ground, it was all over from there. I mean, they were talking about how he didn't fight the hands. I mean, sometimes I feel like they talk about that a lot, and they're like, you got the posting hand out, right? So you have to pull that up, and then you fall on your face. And I feel like that's why they weren't doing it. But it's better to fall on your face than get choked out.
Sure, but I get why. I mean, he might have been hurt at that point too, but I get why, like he didn't want to do that, because once you fall flat on your face, it's really easy to get flattened out. And if you get flattened out in that position, dude, that's bad news, because you're not. Like at that point, you could get just stomped out, or struck out from behind, and that sucks worse. So here's the post from Quake Riddell. Mr. Brad says, I appreciate everyone that has been supporting me and standing by my side from day one, though to these last two lackluster performances, or through these lackluster performances, I'm gonna step away from competing in MMA for a good while until the fire to compete comes back. He talks about we haven't doing it 15 years since he was 17. And that he's not okay. He has some overdue surgeries and all that. He just sounds burned out. He sounds super burned out.
Yes, I wanted to have one last crack at MSG to see if the feelings from last camp were just a one-off, but sadly they were not. Yeah, definitely just sounds like tired.
He's tired. He's beat up. He's burnt out. He's gonna keep training and teaching, but he says, I will keep training and teaching, but my energy that was all consumed by the sport will be directed at my family. The itch will come back, but a long time off is needed. I appreciate everyone who was supporting me, Quake. So, there you go.
This is the second of three rough ones back to back to back. I hit like 3 fights in a row. I mean, Brad's not as old, or not as like. I mean, he is worn down though. He had so many kickboxing fights, and in kickboxing, he was a violent, like,
dude,
ball to the wall action fighter.
Hell yeah, he was.
So yeah, I mean, he had his record 10-4, and it's like of those 4 losses, it's. He had one like before the UFC, and then these 3 back to back, which have all been stoppages. But
yeah,
I mean, the physique fight, he was doing pretty well. It was a competitive fight before the wheel kick, so it doesn't seem as bad as like Reyes. And this has been only the last couple, like that physique fight was just last year or earlier this year even. It's just been like a year. There's the Aldo fault card. It's just been a year. With Reyes, it's been like 3 years in the making, so it feels longer and more, just more constantly, having a tough time. But Riddell, it's 3 in a row. Long career in kickboxing, good career in MMA. Yeah.
It was not a bad idea to take some time, stay with the family.
No. Yeah.
Texas, how about Nate giving Dylan the time of day? Stocking sniping fools out here. Nate's going on like a world slap tour or some shit, because he did it at the Jake Paul fight, slapped the shit out the meditating guy, the guy that helps Jake Paul meditate, which is hilarious. That's the most peaceful motherfucker in the whole group. But then he slapped someone's coach, or Dylan's coach or teammate or some shit, like slapped him. He like, if you see the video, he like puts a middle finger in his face and then pops him. Nate's got long ass arms. If Nate puts a middle finger in your face, you're too close. Get the fuck back. So
Nate's just out here like doing whatever he wants, man.
Yeah, you can now. Shit,
he's going to every big fight and like getting on like the top of the Sports Center ESPN IG page or whatever. I don't know what his goal is, but I don't know.
Meanwhile, Dylan Dennis continues to not fight, and then he looks like a homeless guy. So
yeah,
I don't know.
made a
It just
career
says,
out of not fighting.
yeah, exactly. It just says, I heard something about Alex Pereira. First started training at 20, then won the Glory Grand Prix at 24. Now went undefeated in MMA. Is now the champion. That's an insane rise, dude.
It's it's true. Like he wasn't training like that. Like he was living like a rough life in Brazil and started training to like improve his life, and then it did. Like I was saying, because of this rivalry with Izzy, they should make a biopic. At least in Brazil, they should one day. Like this is a crazy like coming back from his like struggles with alcoholism, and like then through training finding out about his like native heritage and stuff, because he said he didn't know about it. He went to his I think it was his first trainer, and the trainer was showing him this indigenous stuff, and his trainer was like, "You have indigenous blood in you?" And he's like, "No." And then his trainer was like, "I bet you do. Ask your parents." And they said, "Yeah." And his grandparents were indigenous, and then embracing that, Glory kickboxing, Izzy fighting some of the best in the world, 2-division champion, the transition to MMA. There's so much there in biopic.
Yeah, no, you're right, and they might as well do it. Real quick, let's I fucking lost it. Never mind, I had a link up and I lost it. Well, Dan Hooker, real quick. Hooker. Not surprised. Not surprised.
Not at all.
But it's about goddamn time, Hooker. Guys, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, it's just fighting a guy who's like can't stand with him. Like,
right.
I thought that's how it would be. Reyes isn't a great wrestler. He's a good grappler, but even when he got on that leg, there's that one funny moment where he had his legs stretched out, and Hooker's just like sitting there, not even punching him, just like sitting there, like, all right, we're stuck here now. Like, what now, buddy?
Yeah, he's like, no way.
He got back up, and I mean, there's a couple moments where it looked like dangerous, but not like. There was like one real worrisome moment on the ground there, but the rest was just. I mean, it's hard to blame. Like people are booing Reyes and clowning him and stuff, but like I think it's just a match, like not good matchmaking.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Seeing some like 2 knee bars in a row and 3 in the UFC, and seeing like some, a little bit of hype, just a tiny bit of hype, and saying, all right, well, we'll push this guy a little bit, and just not in the right situation whatsoever. Like there's nothing really for this fight that looked good for him.
If I was a matchmaker in the UFC, the last thing I would do is give Reyes a killer. Like Dan Hooker, say what you want about his record. I know he does this whole like 2 losses, 1 win, 2 losses, 1 win thing, but that doesn't change the guy. He's still a killer. Like
and he's a good striker, and Reyes is not. Like it's just how it is. He is not experienced. He just wasn't comfortable. It's like Ryan Hall on the feet with Elias Taporia just like falling over, rolling around. It's like because they don't know what to do. Like they don't have that ability. It's hard to blame them because they just aren't. That's not what they do. Right, not what they are.
Exactly. All right. Moving on to the saddest thing of the entire damn night to me. The saddest because I felt like I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah,
I felt like
me too.
I felt like as soon as they announced the matchup and they announced that it was Frankie's last fight, and he was saying it was his last fight for sure, I felt it was gonna basically end like that. I mean, he's susceptible to knees and stuff like that because he shoots for the legs and eats a knee every time. So I mean, before when he was in his prime, he could eat that knee and be okay. Can't do it no more. So he got knee dead, and unfortunately, that's the last image we're gonna get of Frankie Edgar in a cage. It sucks, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people were saying it, but like, it should have been Dom Cruz. Like that would have been the ideal last fight because Cruz isn't gonna do that. Cruz is great, but not a knockout guy.
No, he's not gonna knock you out.
It would have been a good, 5-round main event.
Yeah.
Sending Edgar off, maybe sending Cruz off, or at least getting him towards the end. Neither guy's gonna take damaging, like life-altering damage.
Yeah.
But this is what happened instead, and at the very least, even in defeat, the fans were still, chanting his name.
Yeah, but
that's the one thing to hold on to. But it's still like it's like cope, like small consolation.
Yeah, like and just like, dude, like that was such a bummer. He just bummed me the fuck out, dude. But look, he says he's open to boxing. Please don't.
No, yeah,
please don't box.
I'm like, I just hope this retirement sticks. We see so many guys retire, come back because they can't accept it.
Yeah, it's difficult.
And he's 40. Like
he's 40.
40 I mean, at 135 pounds. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, but Dude, he was back in the MTV. This is the life or and life in or life of or some shit. Remember that? I don't know if you ever heard about it, but he was in that part of the.
He was back
Part
when
of that like
lightweight was the
MTV.
smallest UFC division. That's
Yeah,
why he
yeah.
was a lightweight.
Exactly. But he was part of that MTV reality show of like I'm a fighter or something like that, and showing him and his girlfriend, going everywhere. Here it is. Remember that hip that Edgar had a hip replacement prior to his last fight. Did he?
I did not remember that.
Let me see, Frankie.
But I mean, he didn't look like horrible. I mean, he's just doing his thing, but Chris is just faster.
Oh shit, you're right. He's right. He's right. Sorry. Former UFC champion Frankie Edgar fought at UFC 268 7 months after getting a hip replaced. Why the hell did you come back, Frankie? Fuck.
Damn, it's like Askren.
Like Askren. Jesus, at least he didn't come back with MMA. He went and got knocked the hell out by Jake Paul, though.
Yeah, but got paid enough for that. Probably Frankie didn't get paid enough for this.
No, he didn't. There's not enough money to get laid out like that. No. It was hard to see Frankie go out like that. It was very difficult to see it.
Yeah.
To the point where I watched the highlight on Twitter and I skipped that fight when I watched it on Sunday. I didn't want to see any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, either way, congratulations, Frankie Edgar, on a great career. Multiple champion or defended his championship belt a handful of times and all that.
Tied for the most. The most impressive is just I've had to write like 3 articles about Frankie Edgar because I was writing the recap. I wrote the what's next, like matchmaking. And I said he's retired, but I gave like a career retrospective, and I wrote my 10 best fights piece. In all of them, the main thing for me with Frankie always, he was fighting 2 weight classes at least higher than like what he actually is.
Right.
And beating these big guys. And it's all because of his technical skill, or the wrestling and boxing combined. The fusion of the two, and one of the first like elite guys to do that, blend wrestling and boxing so convincingly.
Let me see if there's any update on him. Medical suspensions, don't worry about it. He retired.
Yeah.
What else is there?
I mean, he's just gonna spend time with his family. He should. He's earned it.
Yeah, and I know they talked. Joe Rogan talked to him after the fight, but it looked like he had a hard time talking a little bit.
Yeah, he was a little choked up, it seemed.
Yeah, but and it's like Rogan does that. He used to do that thing. They used to, anyone. They used to do like the interviews of the person that lost in the main event, no matter what.
Yeah.
And then he got upset that he did it to. I forgot who got knocked the hell out. That he was like really like upset about it, so he stopped doing it.
But now he's still doing it sometimes.
Well, it's like, bro, it's like Frankie just got knocked the fuck out. Like, I get it. He should get a moment, but give him some time to recover. There's no way his head was on straight.
It's a really hard one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, come on, dude. Like,
yeah.
All right. To me, obviously, fight of the night.
Yeah. Something to cheer us up a little.
Insane fight. This one I watched live on my phone.
Okay, yeah, I would have had to. I mean,
oh, dude, I watched it live on my phone. May or may not have had a friend, stream it for me, but but that's the only fight I watched live. I was literally sitting there, they were cutting the cake, and I'm over here like, oh shit, like. But first of all, Dustin, I thought was gonna finish him at the end of that first round. Like
he almost did it.
Messed up.
You see the one punch where Chandler's nose just exploded.
Dude, oh my god! I was like, oh, Chandler's so screwed.
Yeah, I mean, what I was saying to my friend watching on Discord was just he's just waiting. Like Dustin played it really defensive for 4.5 minutes of that first round, and he was just waiting for Chandler to know, for lack of a better term, blow his load. Gas out a little bit, and then Dustin could take over. Obviously, Chandler came out in the second round and wrestled, which was smart to like negate that, but it wasn't enough in the third. He was too tired in the third. Like if he was as fresh as he was in the first, in the third he doesn't get his back taken. He doesn't get that takedown reversed. He was just not quick enough. Dustin has insane cardio, insane just durability and the will to keep going, and he is so smart to hold that right hand in right by his hip, block the hook, spin in. And then, work, get on top, and then work to the back takes, move methodical to get to the choke. Obviously, I mean, I've been saying, like, people kind of been people have been comparing Dustin to Pereira or Izzy in the first round. Like, how Ferrer was hurt at the end of the first and how Dustin was hurt against Chandler in the first, but Dustin wasn't. He was hit, but he wasn't like he wasn't about to get knocked out. Like he was shelling up. He was doing his, high guard, high elbow guard, and just deflecting most of those looping shots. That's why he said if the straight shots had come, might have knocked him out. But Dustin also says that a lot. He said that about like Gaethje and McGregor, like they could have knocked him out. They buzzed it. They hurt him, but he's like he's not wobbly. He's just buzzed a little.
Yeah, dude. When Chandler took his was on his back trying to get the rear naked choke and he shoved his fingers in his mouth, I got so mad.
I really didn't see it live.
He fish hooked him.
Yeah, no. Like I saw it at the end. I just didn't notice it. Obviously, the back of the head strike is what everyone noticed live.
Dude, what the hell was that? Like that was clearly. He's like, I'm not a cheater, motherfucker. What?
And the ref was like, it's worse on the. I mean, not. I don't know. It's bad for both, like the ref and for Chandler. Like Dan Murgliata saw him do it 6 times, 7 times, puts his arm away. Chandler's like, all right, does it more, and then the ref just stands there, just has to like shift and move. Yeah, it is pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. So
a little bit of controversy, but Dustin gets the win, well deserved.
Oh yeah, very well deserved. And we'll see what's next for him. But
and first man, they say I ain't got no jiu-jitsu. First man to submit, Michael Chandler.
Oh yeah.
Chandler's always had insane grappling defense. Charles was on his back, but he was fresh in that scenario. Younger in his career, he was fresher later into fights.
Mm-hmm. I think, besides being tired and beat up and hurt, obviously from the first round, I think that broken nose might have had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. So. And Dustin, when he went for the choke, he put it. It was just a neck crank at first, forearm on his chin. It wasn't like even close, but he cranked that neck so hard that Chandler was forced to open up his throat, and then he snaked it under, and then it was done.
Yep, 100%.
It was like a savvy but brutal, way to get to sneak in the choke.
Yo, don't piss off a guy from Louisiana, man. Those guys don't fuck around. As she says, what do you guys think about Chandler calling McGregor at the post-fight presser? You already know I want to see that one. See, to me, now that fight makes sense. Like, now that fight makes sense. I understand.
Connor's talking 170. Like, it's hard to predict because like I wrote the matchmaking article for the losers today, and it's like I mentioned that, but it's like you can't predict it. No one knows what Connor will do ever. He wants to fight at 170. You could fight a lightweight at 170, of course, but it's just hard to predict anything. If he does, it's not a bad call, and it's the one he's been calling for. I didn't care much for it before. Now it makes sense. If not, though, Fiziev, Gamrot, Armin and Demir and Jalen Turner, all great fights too.
55 is loaded, man. He's got plenty of options.
Yeah, I just want to see these young killers getting chances up top.
Yeah, but I really want to see that Conor Chandler fight. At 55, I don't want to see Chandler fight at 70 because at that point, they both have power, sure, but the length and the size of McGregor and the reach is gonna be something difficult for Chandler to deal with, I think. So, Jesus, okay. Tank says Poirier really be a black belt. Yeah, he really be that. And then Conor and Chandler are fireworks, 100%. And then he goes, Conor versus Francis in the works I hear. I bet you do. All right, fucking Tank. Co-main event of the evening went exactly how I felt. I thought it was a devastating knockout, but I knew it was going to be a finish. It went exactly how I thought it was going to go.
So I didn't really figure it this way. The Heavy Hands boys actually pointed out, the Heavy Hands podcast shout out actually pointed out how in the Joanna fight, Weili was a lot more willing to grapple and follow into grappling positions.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't great positions. And that's what she did here against Esparza. Excuse me, burping a little. Instead of totally going to stuff the takedown and just keep striking, her A game, she was like, all right, I'll go down with you. And it created Carla, people think of her really boring. Before she gasses out, which she often does, she has some insane scrambles a lot of times. The Grasso fight, Suarez fight, she's a good scrambler, and scrambles is the everyone's favorite part about jiu-jitsu and MMA, really. So this fight has some insane scrambles, but Weili's just it's the physicality that is the main thing down there that really, Weili had the strength to hold Carla in certain positions when Carla didn't have the same strength, even though she has the wrestling.
There you go. It seems like that fight with Joe Duffy was the turning point for Poirier. He really took it to another level, and that fight really showed his heart.
It's around there, that and the Michael Johnson fight.
Michael Johnson fight.
He started, having a give and take with opponents, and not just shelling and then returning. Started positioning himself better. The Johnson fight, he got caught with his feet like really in a bad position, and he started being smarter with his footwork, better with his boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just it's all come together for him after that.
There you go. All right, and then of course the main event of the evening.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Alex Pereira.
For 4 and what, a half rounds? 4.5 rounds?
4 and yeah, 2 minutes in round 5. So yeah, almost.
Izzy, I thought controlled the fight really well.
I mean, he lost round 2.
Yeah, he lost round 2.
Round 1 was close until the very end, but he was doing well. I won't say it's his like great, like he wasn't having like his best performance, but
yeah,
it was his best performance since the Paulo Costa fight, I think.
Sure, I agree with that. But the leg kicks, man, kicks did Izzy in, slowed him down. He couldn't move.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't pick up on live. I picked up on like I was like surprised how well Alex was doing with the MMA cage. You know, he used to a ring, bigger cage, but he was still able to cut Izzy off well, corral him against the fence and corner him. When Izzy is like, you know, great footwork and stuff. So I really thought that was going to be his main issue in getting to Izzy in this fight, because he could do that. He could make it a really competitive fight, even though Izzy was ahead in the first 4.
Right. No, and there's something to be said about fighting a man who's not afraid of you, right? Like Anderson Silva used to defeat guys before he got in the cage. Israel Adesanya has been somewhat defeating guys, sorta, before they even get in the cage. Alex Pereira was not afraid of him for a second. And in that, I don't know if you heard, I know Dana White insinuated it, but apparently Glover Teixeira and everyone else in Pereira's corner was just like telling him, like, dude, you're losing this fight. You got to knock him out. You know, you're going to be a champion here in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he goes out and fucking does it.
It's just like Leon. It's just, I mean, it's not just like, but it's close. A lot like it. I mean, I saw the corner stuff, and they're telling him, they're like, you got to go for it. Put your combinations together. You're not doing enough combinations. They're really hard on him, just like Leon's coach was on him. Come on, Rocky. Like, and then and then right when the people were like, all right, you got to go. Glover's like, you're going to be champion. Well, in Brazilian, he translated it, but yeah. And then, so the one thing, I don't know if you saw this, and I'm probably going to butcher this pronunciation, but so first the Izzy thing is Gaslam, I'm prepared to die. The fifth round of this fight, Vou te matar, I'm going to kill you.
I mean, if
it's true, like, you could see him say something. If it's true, that's one of the coldest things in history.
That made me, because I know I saw he said something, right? Just like I saw he said something, and then someone pointed it out later on, and so I went back to rewatching it. That's what it looks like he said, and I'm sitting there going like, if you're Izzy on the other end, if you caught that definitely fucked you up.
Yeah, if you know enough Portuguese to know what he's saying too, but like, that was when I was like, this needs a biopic. Like, this is that's a movie moment. That's a 100%. Real life movie 100%. Moment. That's when that was the one where I was like, that's when I realized like how much great stuff there is in this Alex Pereira story for like a real movie biopic.
100%. Kevin says Izzy's left leg was injured. 100%. Those leg kicks totally fucked him up. Nerve injury causing foot drop. Yeah, he said that the leg kick, like he hit.
He's the second one of the fight. He said.
Yeah, Kevin, what's the name of the nerve?
Perineal.
Thank you. Perineal. Hit the perineal nerve. The foot was not working. Footwork was gone. He said affected his footwork. He also said on MMA Hour today that he may have re-injured the PCL on his knee. That is a problem.
That's that's with the matchmaking thing. It's like everyone's saying rematch, and I would love the rematch. But he mentioned in the post fight. I didn't hear the MMA Hour, but he said in the post fight, press conference, I have some health stuff to work on. People thought it might just be the staph infection that people assumed he had because of you can see the pictures on his leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But if it's PCL, that could like really change up the title picture. Though I could also really see the UFC like holding the title picture up just to wait for Izzy, because they want to like have this fight booked again.
That'd be great rematch.
They don't want to have Alex against someone who's going to be able to like really wrestle him. So they want to complete this quadrilogy before like that changes up.
Fucking Tank. I think it was an early stoppage. Put him in the body bag. Settle down.
Man, it's going crazy.
That was on time, Tank. Settle.
Yeah, people. I mean, it looked weird, but like Izzy, so he's swaying side to side, bent over. Like some people think that's evading. I think it's his brain thinking he's evading, while really he's swaying. Like he had just gone down, got back up, got hit, 2 or 3 more times again, swaying. It's fine. It looks weird, and it lets Izzy tell himself, I'm not knocked out, give him some confidence going into the next fight. So that's good on his end, but and good for his brain health, obviously.
Right. And but dropping your head and looking straight down is not defending yourself.
Never.
So that shit was over. All right, I don't want to hear any of that shit.
Yeah, not intelligently anyway.
Nah. So all right, so UFC 281. Would you say best pay-per-view of the year?
Yeah, I mean it's this or 275.
Yeah.
And this had 275 had a lot of like craziness, but not a lot of the like elite level fights that this had. This was stacked Marcano Riddell. Even like early prelims, Frola and Zaitar, 2 guys who were like killers in like lightweight so stacked. They're like top 25, top 30, but even that is like really good. Would be top 15 in other divisions, and then just the whole main card it's just more stacked skill wise and as stacked excitement wise. I feel.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think this is the best one of the year for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, because you always know UFC. I don't know if you remember back in the day, UFC used to be every like month or 2.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you, I kind of miss those days because then I can miss it more, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can't wait. But now it's like every weekend.
Anticipation, but this is like, it's one of those filler cards. I mean, being honest, there's some good fight like Fialho Salikov. That's a fight I'm looking forward to. Salikov's getting older, and Fialho brings it, obviously.
Right. Jack Della Maddalena back at it against Danny Roberts. They moved Chase Sherman to this card. He was supposed to fight Josh Parisian. And Josh had like a heart thing, and now he's taking on a guy that's just coming off a really good performance in Waldo Cortez Acosta.
The UFC loves them some Chase Sherman, man. They always sticking him up here. I mean, that's all I have to say about that. I don't know what it is, but that's what they do.
Right.
And then Kennedy versus Iwan, that's like a light heavyweight, like just wild man fight. Iwan, Johnny Walker, Ryan Spann. I was saying this earlier. They're just the like wild men that like have hilarious fights.
Demopoulos versus Oliveira, that's a good fight. Kevin Natividad back at it taking on Ricky Turcio. That's a.
There's scroll down a little, or is it not up? Scroll down a little. Yeah. Natalia Silva. People don't remember this, but she had one, like her UFC debut was a comprehensive performance. People really don't remember her, but at UFC Austin, she had a great performance, and I want to see if she can do it again. Like she looks great.
She got put in the first fight of the night, didn't she?
It was one of the early ones. I mean, I don't remember if it was exactly the first, but like she decisioned Jasmine. Yeah, Jasmine Adjavicius. She just eat her up from range, defended the takedowns, took her down at times. Just like one of those comprehensive performances that makes you go like okay, I want to see more. And she's fighting a contender series girl, so it's a chance to prove that she's what she showed in her last fight.
Yeah, it's a chance to show off. So we'll see if she does it. Vince Morales against Miles Johnson, solid fight.
That's a solid fight. And Charles Johnson versus Zalgas. That's a good. Zalgas has had the like roughest
How the hell
run,
is this?
man.
Why is this in the prelims, man? Zumagulev's a bad dude.
But he's had like the roughest run. He had like he had Jeff Bellina, El Jefe in his last fight. Before that, he's had like really rough fights. He had like what? Here, let me pull it up.
Yeah. But this is a good fucking fight, man.
And Charles Johnson had one of the fights of the year, like underappreciated fights of the year against. Underappreciated fights of the year against Carlos Mota for the LFA flyweight title, finished him in the 5th round. That was amazing. But so Zalgas here, debut or just before the UFC, the Ali Bagatinov and Takir Ulanbekov and Tyson Nam beat them all before the UFC, which is kind of crazy. Like in his 3 fights before. But then Raulian Paiva, who was ranked, fought Sean O'Malley, Mir Albazi, top prospect, great grappler, then beat Jerome Rivera, and then Manel Kopp got knocked out, and then split decision with Jeff Molina. Like those are all except like all those losses are top 15 or former top 15 in the case of Paiva ranked fighters. So it's a really tough start, and then a great LFA champion in Charles Johnson now.
100%. All right, folks, and then of course your main event. First of all, this fight's underappreciated right here. Kennedy was Yanko Talaba.
He just crazy. They're both kind of crazy.
They're not. They're both nutcases. Like someone might die. Like who's his name? Like Mike Perez when they goes, somebody might die. Like that shit. that fight right there. I don't care what anyone says. You can be like, oh, whatever. Two guys are coming off losses, or not Kennedy, but I think Jan is. But no, I don't give a shit. This is gonna be a good fight. And then the main event, Derek Lewis against Sergey Spivak. I feel like we're gonna be like, you know how like heavyweight used to be the division where you're like, hell yeah, someone's going to sleep. Now it's a division where we're gonna go to sleep. I think it's gonna be. It might be one of those fights where you're just like, damn it, like.
It could be. It could be a quick knockout. Could be, a lot of wrestling. I mean, I feel like if Spivak has the wrestling, he'll winning that way, he'll eventually get the finish because Lewis will fold. But like, not a lot of people have been able to do that to Lewis. Like, it's really like DC, and that's about it. But like, because it's like just get up versus great skills.
That's what freaking Derek Lewis does. He just gets up. He just sitting there going like, what the fuck? Like,
so we'll see. But it's definitely like a come down card after the last one.
All right,
there are some sneaky good fights.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, it's definitely worth watching, folks. Definitely watch it. And as I mentioned, it's on ESPN Plus. You don't have to pay pay-per-view for it. Prelims look at the kickoff at 10 a.m. Gee, that's
what? Is that right? Oh, 10 for you.
Well, it's 11 a.m. Mountain Standard, so I have to go back an hour for Pacific Standard. So 10 a.m. Pacific Standard, 11, 12. That's what, 1 o'clock?
Yeah, 1 o'clock East Coast.
That's early.
I mean, I like the early afternoon cards, especially
I love them.
For the like this. Yeah, I don't have to stay until midnight writing. And stuff.
Right. Yeah. So you're out there, huh? That's right. You're in the East Coast. Yeah. So that's this weekend, gentlemen. ESPN Plus. We're not gonna break down too many fights. We'll just look ahead to the next couple weeks. Then we got Thompson
then
Holland.
Orlando.
That's a nice card. That's a really nice card.
And that's like the Holland fights card is after a break. There's a week break. Yeah.
I love those breaks. Those are my favorites. But anyway, all right, folks, that's gonna do it on there. Which one? The Holland.
Holland is out in Orlando. I think Spivak, though, that's at the Apex.
That's at the Apex, yeah. So there you go. Tank says, I got a question. Izzy did after fight press conference. Do fighters have a say if Dana tells them no media? Fighters that lose have the option. So UFC 274 here in Phoenix, Rose loses her belt to Carla. She came back to talk to us. That doesn't always happen. She came back to talk to us. May not have been the smartest decision, but she came back to talk to us. Fair enough. So no, they have a choice. Like they lost. They don't have to go back there. But they can, and you got to give it to Izzy. First of all, he dressed up like a lion for whatever reason. But he came back, owned up to it, gave props and everything. And I think a lot of fighters, if you don't get knocked out, I think it wouldn't hurt them to go talk to the media and be like, hey, it happens. What are you gonna do? This is a fight game we're in, So but not a lot of fighters can pull that off. And guys like Izzy are those kind of guys that can do it.
Yeah.
Mike Chandler kind of guy that can do it. I think he did it too. So I think they get a choice. Yeah, they get a choice. So there you go. All right, man. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, that's it. That's a good question. I didn't, I would have wondered that too.
Yeah. No, they get a choice. So all right. Yeah. Shout out to everyone tuning in tonight. Tank, Bowie, SJ, Kevin, appreciate you. See, Kevin brings in a lot of the physical, like the injury stuff. I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter. Sorry, Kev, I forget your Twitter, but he's good with us for sure. Everyone just tunes in. We love the hell out of you guys. Appreciate y'all. CagesidePress.com for everything you need. At Cageside Press on everything. Follow us on everything if you can. Appreciate you. Val is at the 3 L's. You guys see it on there on his handle there. I'm at Ela32. Shout out to everyone that tunes in. We love you guys. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, leave a comment. And for myself and the entire team, we appreciate the hell out of you guys. Good night.
And goodbye.
And, catch you guys next time.